If you've written a story, then you might be wondering who could help you next. That someone could be an editor. G'day cobbers, it's me, Jules, bringing you another Friday video on drawing and publishing, two of my favourite things alongside custard creams. This week we're looking at what an editor does, so if getting your book published is really important to you, then make sure that you and bing bing and give me a that way you get every upload. And also the weekend is upon us, so hooray! Much love returned. I've written a story. Do I need an editor for my children's book? If you plan to self-publish, then you're going to need a freelance editor. If you're pitching to a publishing company and get accepted, then it's the editor that you will be dealing with initially. And of course they'll also work with you throughout the project. Why don't we have a look at what an editor does? Number one, an editor will know your genre really well. They'll know what works and what doesn't work. For example, they'll know if you've pitched the wrong age or if your language is too complicated for the age that you're hoping that your book will be suitable for. Number two, an editor working for a publishing company will assess your story's potential in the marketplace. In other words, if you're hoping to get your story published through a publishing company, they will be putting their money into that project. Therefore, they'll want to make sure that they can recoup their money through it and through sales. Number three, editors will help you develop your manuscript. They can make suggestions regarding the content and also help organise the narrative if it needs it. That means if moving a section will make your story flow nicely or make more sense, then they might well suggest that. It's really good to get those sort of recommendations because sometimes you can't see it for yourself. You can't see the wood for the trees. Number four, editors will proofread, although proofreading is something that I've covered in another video. Some editors might expect your manuscript to have already been proofread. But if you're expecting them to do this, then make sure that you come to an agreement about that before you actually hire them. Sometimes they provide this service and some just don't. Number five, an editor can help you find your best title and help you write your blurb. They'll know the sort of title that will hook your reader's attention and know how much and what to write on the back cover. If this is new to you, then it's really good to get that sort of help from someone who knows the business really well. Number six, a freelance editor can help you format your book. Whether that's going to print or producing an ebook, you will need to make sure that everything is visually right. That might be type size, page layout, line spacing, or paragraph breaks. They might also help you to save your document to the right specification. Number seven, you might want to ask your editor to fact check for you. They might suggest removing cliches or clarify exactly what you mean. They might polish up dialogue or make descriptive writing more expressive. Of course, all of these are suggestions that you're free to ignore if you're hiring a freelance editor. If you're under contract with a publishing house, then that is slightly different. Here are some tips to help you in your quest to find an editor. Number one, you're working in children's literature, so make sure you find an editor who already understands and works within that genre. Employing a freelance editor who mainly works in romance is not going to help you that much. Number two, whether you're self or traditionally publishing, you'll need to learn about marketing your book. Being a good communicator and proactive in social media may be of great benefit and make your book more profitable. If you're looking for a publishing company, then being kind of in that mindset might well help you. Number three, make sure you know what editorial services that you need. Do you need fact checking or proofreading, or are you looking for somebody to be helpful in the flow of your writing? Number four, start with an internet search of editors within your genre. Open up a few different tabs so that as you find someone that you like the look of, you can compare them together. Have a look at their About Me section, and this should tell you the sort of work that they do. Number 5. Once you've done that, check out their testimonials. See what kind of reviews they have. See how people have enjoyed working with them and whether they've done the work that they said they were going to. And remember that you're working with them. You're not handing over an idea and expecting them to produce a book for you. Number 6. Once you've got those ones sorted out, perhaps you've got 4 or 5 or maybe 6 that you like the look of, fire off an email to each of them. See if they're willing to answer your questions. They should take time to discuss a project with you before you hire them. They ought to provide the editing services that you need and should explain how the editing process works. Make sure it's clear as daylight what you're going to be getting for the money that you're spending. Number 7. Be very clear about how much this is going to cost you. Get a good quote before you sign any paperwork. You don't want any nasty surprises. On the other hand, you don't want to just go for the cheapest one because that's not necessarily the best. Hopefully I've given you a little bit of insight into children's book editors, what they do and how to find one. If you'd like further artist tutorials, I have a variety of short courses that will help you. There are real-time sessions looking at painting, drawing and marker pens, among others. And if you're keen on producing your own book, there is a more in-depth course on what you need to know about self-publishing a book with illustrations. And that covers making key decisions, how to make layouts and dummy books, rhythm and pacing, as well as several tutorials on illustrating your book, and a look at the tech. You can either hop over to my website or join me on Patreon for more information. Go on, give it a go. Next week I'll be looking at hairs. No, not that sort. That sort. I'm off to comb a yak. I will see you next time. Nanu nanu.